First love yourself before anyone else. First love yourself by Trinisha Cottrell.
Hi, this is Trinisha Cottrell, and welcome to First Love Yourself, where love, life, and Christ combine. I am so grateful to have you here on this journey of self discovery and empowerment with me. In today's video, we're going to talk about planning. But before we get started, if you're new here, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on more uplifting and empowering content like this. So get comfortable because we are about to get into it. Let's go. Okay, so earlier today I was really thinking about direction in life and focus, and this time of year is like good and bad for some other people. Some people it's good because you get to be around family. Some people it's bad because of memories during this time of year or things that you're going without. But I just want to definitely take a moment, like a silent moment for those people who are going through a hard time right now and hoping that they find peace, that they find contentment during the season, that they find people, their people during the season that can help them so that they don't have to go through whatever it is that they're going through alone. That if they need to seek help, or whether it's a professional in like some kind of program that's all over the world, or it's a small industry or a small company that is stands on its own, that's like a small business owner's company, as a psychologist, counselor, so on and so forth. And definitely never be ashamed to ask for help, because that's why people are here to help us. So I believe in, you got to have help through like therapy, counseling, things like that. And you also need to have the Bible, because it'll help you, give you guidance, direction, discernment when you're going through things in life, so that you don't feel like you're alone, because God's with you always. But he also created people because he said it's not good for man to be alone. There are a lot of theologians and other people that will like try to combat that and say everybody has a difference of opinions. But I truly believe that phrase means that God didn't intend for us to be alone, whether it's any type of relationship, friendship, whatever else. And I'm not saying everybody is meant to be married or whatever. I don't need to go down a rabbit hole, but I think that we are stronger together. So, as we are getting ready for this year, one thing that always holds me up every year is not pre planning. I will get to January 1st and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's January 1st already. We done already said Happy New Year, did the countdown, all the things, and we got to this point. And then I start feeling like, oh my gosh, like now I got to start planning for the year. And at the first week of January, I start planning, and it just seems like I'm so behind. And I got all of these things that I planned on doing, but I don't have any direction. I have nothing. All I have is just a whole bunch of things that I think I'm going to do, but I haven't really done yet. I actually created something that I think will be really helpful, and it'll be in the description for you below. It's a planner that will be able to help you navigate through this year. And so I will be doing this. So as I'm going through videos and stuff this upcoming year, I will go through and I will let you know, like, okay, this is what I'm doing this day. This is how I've scheduled this planner. This is the things that I think will be helpful for you while you are trying to get a better hold of your life, while you're trying to plan for a better future. And so I think it's important for us to really realistically know that sometimes it's really difficult to try to do things when you're trying to do it all at once. But if you can plan it, if you can have proper planning, then it will help you be able to strategize for a better future. So I'll definitely link it in the description below, because I want to help as many people as possible get on track this year. Because I don't know about you, but I'm so sick and tired of, one, having a binder or folder, like having a notebook, having a fitness tracker, having a budget, having a notebook, having a planner for monthly, weekly. Like all of I got like a stack of notebooks to do one thing. Like all I'm trying to do is pre plan my life so that I can stay on track in all areas, in my mind, my body, and my soul. I want to be all together. Like, and in order for me to get it all together, I'm going to have to start planning. So that's why I think that this planner is so important, because it's the ultimate planner. It's got all of those things in one. so that you don't have to go different places to try to find the exact same thing that you're trying to do in 6 different binders or folders or notebooks. So as we get through this year, I have an acronym for you that will help you stay on track. The first one is P for purpose. Oof. When I ask you this, try not to gulp too loud and be real with yourself, because sometimes it's easy to lie to ourselves until we go through a season where it's like, oh, I can't believe I chose this job knowing the job wasn't aligned with your purpose. You chose this person knowing that person wasn't equally yoked or what God wanted for your life. But the whole time, if you have been honest with yourself and said, no, I knew that wasn't God's plan for me. I knew that wasn't what I was supposed to be doing in the season. And sometimes when we are planning things, we plan for the things that we want and not the things that God wants. I was listening to a podcast once that really blessed my life. And it said, create a plan and then go to God for discernment. Do whatever it takes to figure out if God blesses it or if He asks you to change some things in your plan. This will help you when you're planning for this upcoming year, or if you're watching this in 2025, 2026, whatever year it is. It will help you really get on track so you don't go and do your own thing and then God tells you no, and then you got to replan your whole life. Like, at least this way, you have an idea of what it is that you're trying to do, and you can walk towards that goal knowing that it's in alignment with God. Also, there's this thing called SMART goals, and I'm not going to get the acronym right, but it's pretty much like specific goals that are like little things that you can do during each day, each week, each whatever, and during the deep time or whatever. And as you're doing it, you will be able to have obtainable goals for your life. It won't be things like, oh, I'm going to get 1,000 subscribers in a day. It should be something like, oh, I want to grow my impressions and I want to have more subscribers. Maybe don't put a number on it, but know that you're trying to look at the analytics. Know that you're studying your your geographics and all of the things. You're trying to see who your audience is. You're trying to focus on making sure that you're serving people and not just yourself. These are the things that will help you have proper planning for your life. These are the things that will help you get clear on what it is that you want, on the vision that you have for your life, and the purpose that God has given you. If you know that your purpose is serving women, you probably don't want to start a business helping men. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know that your purpose is helping people heal, maybe don't start a business at a laundromat unless God says, yeah, you're going to take this income from the laundromat and put it towards helping these women. You know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that it's aligned with whatever it is that God. The next thing that you want to do is listen. You got to spend more time listening than and trying to understand and learn. Sometimes, I don't know about you, but I can be quiet a lot, and sometimes I won't say anything, or I'll let somebody else talk, and then I'll get home and I'll talk a lot to my daughter, or I'll talk a lot to one of my friends or something. But I like kind of hold it in the whole time. I'm like not talking, and then when it's when it's time for my daughter to talk, when it's time for somebody else to talk, I might be like wanting to say so much because I held it in for so long that I'm not giving the other person an opportunity to talk. Or when I was really immature before I gave my life, rededicated my life to God and all the things, I would feel like I knew everything. And I also wouldn't want to hear another person out. I feel like I had to explain myself so that someone could understand where I'm coming from. Like, if I don't say what I'm thinking, if I don't say get my point across, then people aren't going to hear me. People aren't going to understand what I'm saying. But people listen to people who listen to them. When I was studying better communication skills the other day, I was watching this TEDx talk, and it started talking about ways to make people to become a better listener or to become a better communicator. And one of the top things that it says is nonverbal communication, which is listening to social cues and seeing like interactions, facial expressions. Is the best way to be able to determine if a person is actually listening to you, if they're understanding you, and if you've actually got their attention. Most people are willing to listen to someone that is listening to them. When you are having a conversation with them and you're actually listening, not just pretending to listen, like saying mm-hmm and then asking a question about the thing, like repeating the thing that they just said. Yes, that is a good way to interact or have a conversation with someone. But the best thing that you can do is actually listen. Like if they're talking, then listen to what it is that they're saying, and don't try to be combative and talk about how you feel about something. In this TEDx talk, it talked about how each person's story is unique. Is no story is the same. So although you may think you have the answer to this question, you may think you know everything. You do not know their story because their story is unique to them. So let them tell their story. You don't have to tell like, oh yeah, well you lost someone, I lost someone too. Like I know we as humans like to do this thing where we can try to connect with someone, but this is about their loss. It's not about us. You have to be completely selfless in this moment when you're willing to listen to someone else. You have to really say, okay, oh, I'm really sorry for your loss. Is there anything that you need in this moment? Or is there anything that I can do? Or, sorry for your condolence. And let them go ahead and vent and let them go ahead and tell you what it is that they're going through because you don't understand how they're feeling at this moment. You could be the listening ear, you could be the voice of reason, the person who allows them to see that life still continues, to let them know that there's still hope, that although that person's gone, you still have a life to live. The best thing you can do when you lose someone is to live your life to the fullest. But you don't have to say that in the middle of them pouring their heart out. That your job in this moment is to be empathetic, to let them know that you actually care about them, to be humane, to really be empathetic, to allow them to emote in this moment because it'll make them want to share more. And then in turn, they will listen to you because they'll know that you actually care and are listening to them. The next thing that you want to do is have an action. And let me just say this and back up a little bit before I hop into action. See what I did there? But why listening is important for preparation and planning is because when you're learning more from other people, sometimes you don't have to take a 32-hour class. It's nothing wrong with a 32-hour class, but you may be able to get that information. You may be able to get more knowledge, to gain more knowledge and insight into the thing that you're trying to do this year if you're listening to someone else. Okay, the next the next step is action. Create actionable steps. I did say that in your purpose, but listen, when you are planning something, you want to make sure that these steps are obtainable. I know I mentioned that earlier, but it's really important to hit that home because sometimes we make these plans for our life that are so huge and big hairy audacious goals are amazing. They're amazing to have those goals, but you also have to have a process in place to be able to get towards that goal. You don't just get from A to Z that quickly. You go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. You have to actually go through the steps of the process, through the journey to be able to get to where you're going. And the other day, I know I watch a lot of educational stuff. Don't get on me. But listen, the other day I was listening to this person who was talking about how they had made it to become like a millionaire, billionaire. They were making so much money and they had started off with nothing. And the one thing that they said that they wish they had done along the way is enjoy the journey. They kept constantly trying to get to this goal, thinking that they were going to feel fulfilled, that they would all of a sudden feel like they have nothing else to do. But imagine a life where you feel like you have nothing else to work towards. That's not living. And if you reach a goal, you have to think realistically, okay, what am I going to do to get to that goal? How am I going to enjoy the journey more than just the destination? Because the person in this video said that they enjoyed reaching that goal for about 3 months. And then after that, it, a whole, like, a huge amount of sadness just came over them. And they just felt like, I don't know what else to do. Like, I reached this goal, now what? Because they were so thinking that this goal, this big, huge opportunity, this thing, this money goal, this whatever it was for their future was just going to fulfill them. But only God can fulfill you. You have to realize that God is taking you through this journey and it's going maybe slower than you thought because He's trying to make sure that you enjoy the journey. He wants you to be appreciative of where you are so that when you get there, you're still appreciative so that He can give you more and more, and you can help more and more people and serve more and more people. It's not just for you to just reach a goal and then that's it. No, you keep reaching more and more goals. So make sure that while you are planning, you plan happiness along the way. You plan little nuggets of joy along the way, things that make you happy. Like if you like skating when you were younger, go skating. If you liked painting when you were younger, go take a paint class or paint at home and have like your bubbly in your little glass like I do. Or I always have like sparkling water, which is like the bubbly, there's different brands, but I drink the bubbly one that's strawberry. And so, whatever your thing is, or whether that's like a relaxing soak, and maybe like when you were younger, you enjoyed like bath time. And so, this is like the adult version where you actually have a good book and you have jazz music or relaxing Christian R&B songs, or you have something motivational that is like kind of soothing, not like something that's going to get you hyped up and you're going to jump out, but something that really just kind of calms you so that you can enjoy that moment with it, with self-care while you are on this journey. Enjoy every single moment of it, because the one thing the person said in their video was they kind of missed how simple it was before. But every time you gain more, with great power comes great responsibility, like the Bible says. The more that God gives you, the more responsibility you have. So appreciate where you are now and appreciate where you're going, so that when you get there, it won't be the end. It'll be like, oh, I made it here. I can do anything now. Like, let me go ahead and just sit in this moment, enjoy it, and keep moving towards the next thing. But enjoy your win. When you get there, make sure you do something to celebrate the win. Make sure you celebrate the things in between. Every time you do something during the day that gets you towards your goal, like put a little gold star on the border. I don't know what your thing is, but do something that helps you to acknowledge, like, this week I did good. This week I did this one thing right. These two things right. This is something that I really enjoy. I never thought I was gonna like testing a race car, but I really enjoyed testing that race car. I never thought I was gonna be a Ferrari person, but I really enjoyed riding in a Ferrari. I never, and I'm not saying it all gotta be extravagant things. It could be like you going to the beach, and maybe you weren't a beach person in the past. I never thought I would enjoy the feel of sand on my feet, walking on the beach and the sun on my skin. But I really enjoyed it, and definitely don't be outside all day, because it's not healthy. But it could be anything. Do things that you enjoy to enjoy your life along the way, and make those goals obtainable so that you can reach them and you can celebrate those wins. The last step is now. I will not tell you how many times in the past I procrastinated on doing something that I knew I wanted to do because I felt like I had forever to do it. I was like, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow. Oh, I really don't have to do this thing yet. I'll just wait another day. It's really not that important. Or I'll have another opportunity to do it. Or I could just do this whenever. And the whole time, you don't know how much time you have. I know I say that a lot in these videos, but you really don't. It's really arrogant and egotistical of us to think that we just have another day to do the things that we are supposed to be doing in purpose. It's supposed to be now. We don't need to wait another day, another minute, another hour. We should be going after our purpose now. Whether, and I know you're probably saying, well, it's late. This video comes up at 9. I got to be in bed at 9:30. Okay. What is it you can do in 15 minutes that's towards your goal right now? We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but you doing something today for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes is more than you doing nothing every day. It's more than you waiting for tomorrow for the thing to happen. You have to really appreciate the life that you have and know that you have a life to live today. You got to do it now. You got to start planning now, because when you get there, it's going to be overwhelming and hectic. The reason why I have been so overwhelmed this year is because I waited to plan. And I don't want anyone else to have to feel overwhelmed in their life when you can get ahead of it right now. When you don't have to wait until the countdown for the new year to start planning for your future. Grab the ultimate planner, the ultimate 2025 best life planner, so that you can start tracking your fitness for the days a week that you want to do fitness, or the type of fitness you want to do, or the type of fitness classes you want to do. Go ahead and get control of your budget now, so that when January comes, you're not like, what? I got paid this day and I forgot to budget for the things that I want to do. Like, you could do anything you put your mind to. I know last year I did not budget as well as I should have, or at the beginning of this year. And so I was just assuming, oh, well, I can do this next month because I got this, and this plan. And then emergencies start happening, and thank God, I do save. So here and there. So I did have enough money to pay for the emergency, but not everyone has it. And that's where proper budgeting comes into place. When you budget for things for the future, like have your emergency fund set up, actually budget for the thing that you want to do, then you will be able to do it without saying, oh, I had to sacrifice this or that. You may be able to do both because you budgeted and you planned for it properly. I know I wanted to go on a trip somewhere last year and I didn't get to go because I had like one emergency after the other all year round. It was a really like testing year. It really like my faith was really tried. Like the adversary or God was really trying to strengthen me in faith, and the adversary was really trying to make me faint in the seasons where God was trying to build me. Every time I would feel like I was moving forward, then there would be another emergency that came up. Like I needed all four tires this year. It was crazy. I had to like get my washer dryer fixed twice and get a whole replacement washer dryer because obviously I needed a new one. I had to get like this one part fixed on the car and then another part fixed on the car. And it's not an old car or anything like that. It's a fairly new car with low mileage and all the things. It just life just happened. But I did have money for emergencies. I just didn't have money to do anything extra. But this year coming up, I don't plan on living that kind of life. I plan on living in abundance. I plan on having my money assigned to things so that it's not an emergency and I'm like like if I would have planned in December, I could have saved for January and the four tires wouldn't have been a big deal. It would have just been like, oh, and yeah, it was an inconvenience because I did have the funds, but I I would have definitely had preferred to go on a trip. But who knows? Maybe God didn't want me to go that place. So it's understandable and everything happens for a reason. But when you want to get ahead of your life, you have to make sure that you start planning for it. And that's where the budget comes in place. Now, one thing that I think is really important that I have been doing this year that has helped me stay focused is being grateful for the things and thankful for the things that God's given me. On this planner, there is a grateful, thankful thing. There's a place where you can really speak to yourself, like doing affirmations, affirming yourself, and speaking positivity over yourself so that you can remember who you are. Because sometimes when those things are happening, like those emergencies, you forget who you are and you start feeling like the problem and not understanding that you got a God that can solve every problem in this world. That's just a moment. It is not your entire life. And the next thing, of course, which is the thing that everyone uses, is a monthly and daily or weekly planner. I have all of those because I think for me, I like to see a month snapshot of everything. I like to be able to plan out the week, and I put down my outfits that I'm going to wear for the week because I'm that type of planner. And for the day, I like to put, okay, these are the things I like to focus on, hone in on during the day. I want to, when I get up, I want to make sure that I'm praying and thanking God. I want to make sure I read my Bible first before anything. I want to make sure I'm doing my facial and brushing my teeth, a water flossing and tongue scraping and Listerine, all the things. I want to make sure I'm bam, 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 doing all those things in a row. When I go to work, I want to make sure that this is the type of schedule I have for work. And when I get home, these are the things that I have to do. I'm going to do this, this, and this. Every day, I know exactly what my focus is going to be, what I want to accomplish, what my high priority thing or the top task is, or the top three things that I want to get done are. And I'm making sure those things are getting done. And me writing it down helps me remember to get it done. Me seeing it in a planner helps me to get it done, which is why I created a planner because I think that it will really help. I know it will really help us get on track so we won't lose track of our whole year. Like, I don't know about you, but when this year is about to come to an end, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's December already. It feels like the new year had just begun for 2024, and now we are in December. Like, whew, like we got to get control of this thing now because I don't want you to wait until January where emergencies happen, where things happen, where life happens. And you feel like, oh my gosh, like everything's so out of control. Now I have to reorganize my life or I have to organize my life. When if you're already organized, you could just see the things that you have to do now instead of trying to remember those things during an emergency or something that's going on in your life. So I hope that this serves you well. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And I will see you guys on the next go around. Bye.